Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Our patient today is a 2005 Legacy, which has a issue with a fan number 2, which we diagnosed last time, and we've identified a transistor that shorted out due to faulty relay, or more likely faulty diode in the relay, or perhaps cold solder, something like that. In any case, we ordered a transistor, replacement transistor, and we were supposed to be waiting for about 2-3 weeks for them to get to me. They're coming from China, of course. But meanwhile, I located that transistor on another board. So we're not gonna wait. We're gonna replace it. Take it from here and replace it on the other ECM. And funny fact, in my last video working on this, I even inspected this board looking for this transistor, and I missed it. And then I figured, well, because there's only one, that's why I missed it. And then I found the second one, and the second one is here. So there were 2 of them on this board, and I have quite a few of these boards. So yeah, we could have it fixed before in just one video. So that's too bad, but we'll make it. So these transistors are also glued, not only soldered on, they are also glued. So that's kind of a more time-consuming process than the typical transistor replacements, but it's fine. And since we're going to be working on something very boring, let's talk about something that recently is making headlines. Which is people losing their jobs to AI. And recently, about a couple of days ago maybe, I've watched this video from a guy that suffered the termination and has been replaced by AI. And whenever I just hear that, I always think like, well, are you sure? Maybe some other factors were at play, maybe it's not as simple as you just losing job to AI. But this one was different because he had a very detailed story, and he was like kind of involved in the process, right? So the long story short is his boss, he's a copywriter, right? Obviously, these are the first jobs that are affected in many ways, both positive and negative ways. Because, LLM can help you do your work, can speed up your work. But at the end of the day, you still want the human to do it, right? Not just anyone prompting AI, commonly referred to as an AI, to write something, and you have no idea whether it's good or not, right? I could do that. I could prompt the LLM to write me an article about something, but then how do I evaluate it, right? I'm not a writer. I don't know if it's good writing, bad writing, right? So yeah, as an assistive device, it's good, but as a replacement, I find that not the best decision if you replace your human writers with AI, or well, with large language models. Anyways, the guy was actually he was aware that AI is coming, and he was using AI as well, or ChatGPT, to assist him in his writing. So he was aware what it can do. So he was a bit concerned, but as I said, he had a pretty detailed story of, I don't remember all the details, but I'll give you some pointers how to find him, and definitely find him, because now it's his full-time job, because he can't find a job at the moment. But I do think it's just temporary. Eventually, I'll get there, but eventually all the riders will return, no worries. It's just a temporary setback. Tough times don't last, no worries. At the moment, it's just everything is really hyped up around the AI, so that's why it all looks like that. But his boss, so that was when the ChatGPT 4 came into the picture, and his boss prompted the ChatGPT to generate something. I don't know, article or whatever the copywriters write, right? And he was really happy with the results. And literally the next day, he laid off his copywriter. Very sad, but I need to clarify something. I disagree with statement that you lost your job to AI, because that's not exactly the whole picture. You lost your job because your boss is an idiot. That's why you lost your job. The AI will not replace you, because AI needs to be trained on the work you did so far. And your work is creative. AI or large language models are unable to be creative. They can only kind of how do you describe that? They try to replicate the stuff, right? You can't teach the neural network to be creative. I mean, you can teach the neural network to appear to be creative, especially those sites that I'm actually pretty interested in, and those music generators, AI music generators. You can have some fun with that even without buying the subscription. So for free, you can generate some songs along with the text, the lyrics. So that's pretty cool. I definitely want to look into that. But is that going to replace musicians? Actually, in many cases. Well, again, you asked the neural network to generate the song like this, or this kind of song, or something. I'm not a musician, so it's not as obvious to me, but to musicians, they immediately recognize that this was influenced by this song, this artist, or this genre, or something like that, right? So now it's a good question, like who's if your machine just kind of replicates my work, and the work that I do on which your machine can learn, can be trained, takes me months or weeks or years, and it takes a couple seconds for the AI to just kind of replicate it, then do I have any legal actions that I can take? It's a good question, one that will be answered eventually. Unfortunately, the artist, the creator community is not as vocal, and not as many of them to actually take it to the streets and and actually force the government to put some regulations on it or something like that. So this is not something that will happen immediately, but we will see the decline in quality, large decline in quality, because now we're just repeating what has already been successful. And the same with riders, right? Eventually, you know what happens when you feed the creative AI, right? The creative model, the generative model, right? You feed its own data as a learning data. You know what happens then? Well, whatever you think is gonna happen, you're wrong. In the sense that whatever is gonna happen is so unpredictable that we don't know what's gonna happen. Not what you think. That part is for sure. Not what you think. So eventually it'll be robots being trained on the data generated by robots, right? Language models being trained on articles written by language models. The music generators being trained on the music generated by other music generators. It will quickly become obvious how detrimental it is to the whole industry, be it the music industry, writers industry, all that. So as I said in my original video about this subject some time ago, titled AI is a Scam, I stand by it that soon, eventually, the companies that are bragging about having AI now will be bragging about not having the AI, right? The copywriter company saying that, yeah, we have actual human writers, we don't use AI. Our writers are actually writing our articles or whatever you need copywritten, right? That will be the inevitable outcome of this whole crazy hype of large language models and calling it AI. Okay, you gotta go a little bit higher, buddy. Come on. Not that high. They're too high now. Oh, that'll do. Okay. So as much as it sucks now, just, it will get better. It will definitely get better. Don't worry about that. It seems like it's going all down, but it's just a hype. It's just a hype. Remember what happened when first we started, the online stores and the whole referred to nowadays as .com bubble. The whole situation basically, you can even see that right now in those old videos, the how we even referred to what we attributed to computers back then and how we look at computers now, right? Back then, when I was in my, basically when I was a kid and all the way to the like late 90s, the computers were treated like we actually talked about them like they were humans, right? The computer remembered that I went to that site, or the computer corrected my my Word document or whatever, my copy or whatever, right? So that's how we referred to computers back then. Computer did, or computer did. Now, now we don't say that, because, well, by computer you mean which software on the computer. Before it was like, yeah, the computer can do it, or the computer analysis, or even I remember one physicist. Yeah, we even referred to that as computing, right? When the computers were finally, like small enough that you could actually have them in the house, and that's how we would refer to it. That's where I do my computing, meaning working on the computer, right? What exactly are you doing? What would you understand if I told you now that I'm doing computing right now, right? That could mean anything: video editing, sound editing, writing a document, writing code, anything. Just like now now many people refer to their Google searches and watching watching YouTube as research. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine, is whenever someone says, yeah, I did the research, I always ask, well, may I take a look at it? Is it peer reviewed? Is it published? Can I download it, or do you have it printed? No, because by research they said by research they mean I did few Google searches and watched few videos, and that was my research. Well, not really, but okay. The same with, I do computing at home. I do my computing at home. So yeah, that is kind of a same thing with AI. Now we just kind of attribute too much to AI because most of us don't really understand how it works. We don't get to participate in the process of making that, because if we did, it would become obvious that this is kind of a throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's how AI is built, or the large language models are built, or neural networks. That's how they're built, and if we get to participate in that process of throwing everything against the wall, it would be much less appreciated. This image of AI would be different than we have right now, because right now our image of AI is that some secret process was involved, and the result is this awesome. It's an awesome thing what we have to result. While in reality, not only the process is really ugly, trial and error, is not very deterministic. You can't even give me estimates when the model is going to be ready, right? It either will be ready tomorrow or next year. We don't know, because we rely primarily on randomness. But also, so not only the process is so awful, but the results. When I was watching that presentation of Chat GPT 4.0, not 4.0, 4.0, because why not make it ambiguous? I immediately recognized that everything they're showing is perhaps only what happened to my monitor? Oh, my monitor is breaking. I gotta fix my monitor. Anyways, I immediately recognized that this is very much curated presentation. Like the only practical what do you call it, like practical application of it perhaps could be for blind people to just kind of use the AI to get a feel of of their surrounding. But then again, why would you even need that? I don't know. It doesn't seem. Yeah, that seems like the only possible practical application. But still not something that anyone asked for. Nobody asked for this. So it's kind of like, yeah, we created something and now we're looking for the applications for it, right? So why were you working on it in the first place if now you have to figure out how to actually, what exactly to use it for? And yeah, I do stuff like that sometimes when I just want to work on something, but that's like it's like training, right? Yeah, I'm building something. I don't know what for. I don't know what it's gonna do, but it's like kind of new technology, and I want to kind of get my hands dirty, right? That kind of stuff. The questions they were asking, like, well, tell me what this piece of code does, and well, since I'm a software engineer, maybe that's why I'm laughing, because that was completely useless. It's kind of when this concept, when you learn or when you try to teach someone to code, the exercise is kind of like, what does this method does, or what does this function do? And the answer from the person that doesn't understand what it is will start saying, well, we declare a variable over here, we check whether the variable is higher or lower, and we return something, or we add two numbers and that kind of stuff. But no, that's not what it is. What does this function do? Don't read the code to me. I can read the code myself. Tell me what it does. So the AI, they ask them like, yeah, what does this piece of code do? And yeah, it takes the key, returns the key or whatever. Well, what value is in there if who would want to use AI to just rely on to read and understand code? Ridiculous. That will never be a thing, because it's very unreliable thing. I actually did one more video on AI when the ChatGPT 4 came out, and everybody said that, well, it's going to replace the coders. The coding jobs are no longer viable. You're no longer going to be a coder because AI is going to do the coding for it. I welcome that. I welcome that. I'll go against the AI anytime. And the reason is not because my code will be better or more efficient or anything like that, because it will not be. Because I'm not a wizard. I'm not like super smart guy. I'm not the coding wizard or anything like that. just been doing that for many decades. All right, so I'm handy with it, but I'm not especially talented or anything like that. So yeah, the AI's code is going to be more efficient. Fine, use the AI code, but eventually you're going to have to maintain that system. You're going to have to you're going to have to modify it, and AI or large language models or neural networks are not going to prioritize readability of the code, scalability, and to be honest, that everything that the neural networks generate as code-wise is all stuff that basically you can find one-to-one almost on Stack Overflow or anywhere on Google, some forums and stuff like that. You can find all those. And that's what it's only modified because you need to use floats instead of integers, or integers instead of floats, or stuff like that, or your range is different than the example algorithm, right, that you need to replicate. So it's, in my view, it is absolutely useless. Not to mention, it's highly unreliable, more unreliable than humans. And self-driving proves that, or illustrates that very well. That it kind of works, but it's not reliable enough to just kind of leave your car driving from point A to point B without killing people in the process, or completely crashing your car, or blowing through red lights, or Whew. Anyways, keep your head up. Don't worry, this will pass. This whole AI fad will pass. No worries. It has been useless then, it is useless now, and it will be useless in the future. That is my prediction. All right, with this, we got half an hour, so perfect length of the video. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.